Hey there, CJ Math students. So I'm going to take you through homework 5.9. I'll be doing the odds. They're very similar to the evens, so please pause after I do a problem tonight. All right, so let's remember there are kind of two scenarios that we should be working with tonight. Something if I get like 5 equals 5, or a number equals a number, or x equals x, it's infinite solutions, or all real numbers. And then if I got like 5 equals 7, well, that's not the case, right? That's no solution. And then if you get x equals 3 or whatever, that's one solution. Okay, just like we did in today's notes. So the first one, we draw our Tetris. We see we have variables on both sides. We add -5n to both sides. When I add -5n to both sides, I notice that on both sides they get canceled off. So I'm left with -4 equals 1. That's no solution because, yes, write this down, -4 does not equal 1. All right. Number 3. I'm going to draw it here. Plus negative, so I'm going to add positive x to both sides. In doing so, -x plus x, that's 0. -x plus x, that's 0. 1 equals 6. Again, that's no solution because 1 does not equal 6. Number 5. Plus negative right there. These are like terms, so we can combine them, and we get -n is equal to -n. This is all real numbers, aka infinite solutions, because no matter, and I want you to write this down, because B/C, no matter what number I plug in, it will be a solution. So for instance, if I said n equaled 2 and I plugged in 2 here, well, -2 is equal to -2. If I plugged in 3, right, -3 is equal to -3. If I plugged in 100, right, it's still going to be a solution. Right? When you get down to this, both sides of the equation are the exact same of each other. It's that all real or infinite solutions. Number 7. So we're going to add 4b to both sides, and we get 1 plus 3, -3 plus 4 is 1b equals, those cancel out 3. So now we actually will get a solution, right? We'll add -1 to both sides. Those will cancel out. I'll get 1b is equal to 2. Divide by 1, and b equals 2. So that's an example of one solution, right? Basically, every problem we had been working with up until today was always just one solution, right? You solved and you said x equals this, or b equals this, or y equals this. That's one solution. All right, backside. Number 9. Let's go through and say plus and negative. First, let's combine these guys because they are like terms. That's -5v plus 3 equals 5v plus -7. We will move this by adding -5v to both sides. Those cancel off. I get -10v plus 3 equals, sorry, I forgot my v, plus -7, right? This is -10 right here because SSAK, same signs I'd keep. And now I just have a two-step equation, right? So I will get a solution from this. So I'll add -3 to both sides. Those cancel out. I get -10v equals -10. Some of you are like, oh, but that should be infinite. Well, no, this has a v attached to it as a variable, so we divide by -10. And our solution is v equals +1 because negative divided by negative was positive. This was a tricky one. I would rewind and watch if I were you. But this is a one solution, v equals 1 in this case. All right, so next one. Again, we have some like terms that we can go ahead and combine first. I have n plus -9, because that's what -4 plus -5 is, equals -9 plus n. And now look at this very carefully, right? If you use the commutative property, you could rewrite this as n plus -9 equals, and you just flip-flop those two, n plus -9. They're the same thing, right? They're going to be all real numbers, but I want to prove it mathematically. So erase that. Let's add -n to both sides. And in doing so, those cancel out. I get -9 equals -9, and we know those are infinite or all real numbers. Any number I plug in for x, or for n in this case, will be a solution. All right, number 13, Natalie sold half of her comic books and then bought 18 more. She now has 43. How many did she begin with? Number of comic books is what x is, and she sold half of them, so that's x cut in half, then bought 18 more, and now she has 43. Right, so just a two-step equation. Add negative 18 to both sides. Drop down x over 2 is equal to 25, right? Borrow here, this is 3, that's 13. And then if you remember x over 2, you don't divide that by 2, you multiply both sides by 2. We see division, so therefore we multiply, so x is equal to 50. I'd pause and try and do 14 if I were you. And then the last one, how old am I if 400 reduced by, that's subtraction, 3 times my age is 205. So age is the x value, right? So 400 reduced by 3 times my age, which I don't know, which is 3x, is 205. Right? So we'll start off by tetracene and then adding negative 400 to both sides. That is a negative 400, sorry about that. That cancels out. Make sure you drop down not 3x, but negative 3x is equal to 205 plus negative 400. So really that's 400 minus 205, which is really, 195, and it's negative 195 because you had more negatives. Again, this was a negative 400, and then divide by negative 3. So your answer is going to be positive. X is equal to, how many times does 3 go into 195? If you've got Google Calculator handy, you can go ahead and use that. If not, you can do some long division. No big deal. But when I do it, I end up with, 65. 65 is your age. And then you can plug that back in. 400 minus 3 times 65 should give you 205, right? The whole idea of checking. All right, guys, rewind, pause, do problems, do all that, and then at the very least, call me if you have questions. Good luck.